This is a story I would normally report on my Broadcasters podcast, which runs on Friday mornings. You can find over at broadcasterspodcast.com. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have that show for a while. We're at the start of the week as I record this edition of WIMP. And this story, I can't wait until the end of the week because a big breaking news story has come out over the International Association of Theatrical Stage Employees. Now, if you don't know what this is a Hollywood labor union that is of theatrical stage employees, moving picture technicians, artists, and allied crafts of the United States. So now, this group is a labor union that represents over 150,000 technicians, artisans, craftspersons in the entertainment industry, including theater, motion picture, and TV production in the U.S. or Canada. That's a big group. And this is what happened today as I record this, and this will be played a couple days from now for those of you listening in. If it's on the YouTube channel, you will have caught this. This will be news that just happened. And for those of you on the podcast, you'll catch this like about 48 hours from now. So anyways, in an overwhelming show of union solidarity, this is from Deadline.com, these members of the IATSE have voted to authorize a nationwide strike against film and TV productions if last-ditch negotiations with the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers, the AMPTP, failed to produce a fair deal. So we want to bring all this up and let you know exactly what we're talking about here. So this is a deal where the movie studios and the companies that create motion picture and television, these are their employees. Their employees are union workers. And because of digital streaming, because of labor practices, because of COVID, a number of issues have come across where they want to be fairly compensated and fairly treated. Because they've had issues where they've had 14-hour workdays, or they have had issues where they've been have to work, for so many hours that, they're not able to go ahead and function properly, get proper sleep, be able to take care of themselves. It's all these kind of things that are going on. And that's a big problem overall. Now, the key issues in the negotiation of this strike are about worker dignity and basic human necessities. So the IATSE is unified in the belief of the importance of living wages, sustainable benefits, and reasonable rest periods between shifts and working during the workday, because you're also being made to work weekends. And that this AMPTP group negotiate collaboratively with the workers to reach a fair contract and address the basic human needs that will allow them to do their job safely and with dignity. So what happened was there was a particular deadline that actually finished up on October 1st to whether if nothing had been resolved by this point, then there would be a request for authorization to strike, to get the picket lines up and to start a strike against the motion picture studios, the TV studios, the media companies out there that run these studios. That's what's happening here. And what happened was we got the vote of what it was going to be, because if the vote was going to be a slight majority of the members, then they were going to try to continue to do last-ditch negotiations to make a fair deal. If it was an overwhelming majority, then the IATSE would feel compelled to strike. They'll say, okay, if everybody is behind us to strike and to put the picket lines up, they're going to do it because we have the support of our members. So we're going to work hard to get what we want from. We're going to shut down Hollywood. That's what they're doing right now with this. And I agree with them. Listen, I'm in support of hoping that this happens, because this goes back to April 2019, when we really started seeing the change of the labor unions, because the contracts that started coming up. First of all, was the Writers Guild of America with the Association of Talent Agents. So the agencies and then the people that were representing them, there was a whole fight over packaging. So the idea was for a talent agent, they would do a thing where if you wanted a movie production done, well, we have a director, a producer, a cinematographer. We have, all the team ready to go in one package. Sign with us. We'll give you these group of guys in here. And what would happen is that the commission that would come from that movie or that production would be split up. A small percentage would go individually. And instead of going individually, getting a commission or a piece of the action to these directors, writers, screenwriters, all of this, they would not be getting their fair share. That was the bigger problem. Then what happened was, instead of even going to a deal, that the Writers Guild decided, well, we're not even going to work with these talent agents anymore. We're going to start splitting them up. And what happened was some of these talent agencies started brokering up. They started breaking up because it never got to a strike. It just blew up because in the negotiations, COVID happened. So everything got shut down anyway. And then some of these screenwriters and all these people in the Writers Guild said, well, you know what? We're going to just go on our own. The way things were running changed. So we're not even going to worry about that. But I could go on for a long time about that. But back to the story here with what's happening to these two organizations. What you need to know is that now all these people behind the scenes that work on the movie sets, work on the TV sets, on theaters and Broadway productions, they're gonna close house. They're not coming to work. They're not going to show. They're going to strike. They're going to ask for what they want, and now all these studios are going to have to pay them properly. Part of the thing, too, is the digital streaming. For all these Netflix shows and all the things that are coming in through Hulu or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus, they're not getting as much money for that. Plus, the hours that they need because of the production schedules on the digital streaming, the budgets are different. So they're going to work longer schedules to try to get everything done. So, yeah, the studios take the advantage of having the staff there as long as they need them to get the project done and then out. But that's not what these workers want anymore. They want to be properly paid. And when the entire 150,000 plus union members at a 98% in favor, as of this writing, the IATSE President Matthew Loeb has the indisputable authority to call a strike if he and the president of the AMPTP, Carol Lombardini, fail to reach an agreement in the coming days. Almost 90% of the eligible guild members in the 60,000 member bargaining unit cast a ballot this morning, according to the IATSE. In the last contract, the thought of going to strike wasn't even a third of that. But now, everybody's on board to strike. Now they're all set. Loeb mentioned that the members have spoken loud and clear. The vote is about the quality of life as well as the health and safety of those who work in the film and TV industry. Our people have basic human needs like meal breaks, adequate sleep, and a weekend. For those at the bottom of the pay scale, they deserve nothing less than a living wage. This is happening. Now, the talks have resumed, but the strike authorization is a bargaining chip. It's saying, okay, it's going to happen. We're on the way. The pickets are being created right now. We are putting we're putting poster board to sticks, and we're going to start stapling them in. We're ready to go. We're going to start holding signs up. We're going to be on Sunset Boulevard, wherever it is in Hollywood. They're going to be in front of the studios. They're going to picket. And at this point of things going on, these big conglomerate media companies that own these studios, they're going to have no choice but to do something now. That's it. So come back from our Broadcasters podcast this coming weekend, this Friday, and I will give an update on what happens here with these two organizations and the possible shutdown of Hollywood. We'll talk about that more, and I'll try to keep you updated here on When I'm Not Podcasting, and I'll talk to you next time.